Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. First of all, happy Halloween. I'm wearing you can't really see it, but I'm wearing my awesome Hocus Pocus shirt because Hocus Pocus, in my opinion, is the best Halloween movie. Anyway, I am here today on Halloween to do a book review of Doom, Knee Deep in the Dead by David Abhue and Brad Lineweaver. This came out in 1995 from Pocket Star Books. It is obviously a military sci-fi horror video game adaptation book based on the game Doom. Is this a classic sci-fi? Not really, but it is based on what people I think would consider a classic video game. So I figured I'd have it a go, especially since I own all four of them. I have another one here too. I've got all of them. I don't know why. I did play the game, of course. It came out in 1993, so I was like 8. So I first played it when I was a little bit older, like 12 or so. If you want to experience, like these amazing graphics, you can probably just download the game for like 2.5 megs or something. Like, it's pretty basic. Kind of like this book. To be honest, I was expecting this book to be absolutely awful, but it's actually not bad. I kind of enjoyed it. So I'm going to apply my classic sci-fi bingo to it just for shits and gigs. First, though, I'm going to do a spoiler-free review. Spoiler alert, there's not much plot. To get right into it, the story follows a man named Flynn Taggart, or Fly, or as he keeps annoyingly referring to himself as yours truly. As he arrives on Mars' moon Phobos, he's detained for mutiny, but when shit starts to go down, he escapes his guards and heads into the grinder to rescue the woman he loves, Arlene, who is a fellow soldier. So, for the first 170 pages of this 250-page book, we just have Fly. There's no other people, like, after the intro chapter. And all he's doing is repeatedly shooting monsters, monsters you'll recognize from the game, while doing stuff you do in the game, like get key cards to open doors, avoid toxic goo piles, and explode barrels to kill the monsters or demons or aliens or whatever the heck they are. As such, it gets a bit tedious because, we don't really know Arlene aside from what Fly kind of tells us about her, so I don't really care if she's alive or not. And watching Fly just do the same kind of shooting and talking to himself is not really that great. I mean, grinding games are fun when you're playing them, but, imagine, watching someone doing a grinding game. You just be like, ugh. What I love about military sci-fi is the team aspect. I love the dynamics and the found family and the banter, and this doesn't really have that until kind of the last, quarter of the book. And even then, it's not really banter. It's just kind of regular talking. As such, in being true to the game, this book gets a 10 out of 10. But in that case, why not just play the game? Or was this book intended for people who love Doom so much they needed this when they couldn't be shooting the monsters on their PC? On a plane or something back in the 90s, while they were walking? Did people love Doom that much? I guess. I mean, I guess they loved it enough to make that movie with The Rock in, the early 2000s, which I will admit I did see in the theaters. So I guess so. I did like Fly. He was a good guy. The novel shows this in the first chapter in kind of a weird way. But, I also thought the way that he thought of and treated Arlene was not with the machismo that I kind of was expecting. In truth, I kind of thought his unrequited love thing was kind of sweet. I also liked how Arlene was basically just Vasquez from Aliens. She's super muscly, she's tough, she's no nonsense. She's a soldier that he happens to have the hots for, and his friend. She's not some prize sexy scientist, I thought that was fantastic, actually, and I was like, oh, this is good. The writing was fine. There were some ridiculous lines and some not bad ones. I've got an example here for you of one that I thought was funny. Arlene was always good at cutting through the plastic to get to the meat. The book also had allusions and references to other books and poetry, but also biblical stuff that I wasn't expecting, and some of it went over my head even. So in truth, I think the authors did the absolute best they could with the subject matter to kind of, I don't want to say elevate because that's kind of elitist, but to kind of, I guess, give it more depth than just a rehash of the video game. I will say overall, this book was a little bit boring, but the next one, called Hell on Earth, I think. Yeah, this one, book 2, has a 14-year-old female computer genius, an unrepentantly Mormon sniper, and the best soldier in this woman's army. So I'm like, what? I want to read this one. This one sounds great. So yeah, I'm totally gonna read that one next year. Probably. I'm definitely curious about it. So, yeah, that's my review, spoiler free, of Doom, Knee Deep in the Dead. So let me know if you've read these books at all. Let me know if I'm gonna love the second one or not. No spoilers, please. And let me know if you played the game when you were, a child or a teenager or an adult, I guess, depending on how old you are when the game came out. So now I'm going to do my classic sci-fi bingo just because it's fun and because I didn't read a classic sci-fi this month because I was too busy with the trick-or-treat-a-thon. So anyway, so outdated science. Yes. Key cards to open doors seems very outdated for the year 21 whatever it was. I don't even know. Yeah, way too outdated for that time period. Even nowadays, I don't think people use like key cards like right? You just press them or you have something else. I don't know. I haven't been to an office in like 10 years. Spaceship blowing up? No, that does not happen. Social changes? No. There are only 3 women in the military unit, and they're treated pretty shoddily by the men, so I would say no. The social changes, at least in the military here, have not changed at all, so that's fine, I guess. Sexy female scientists. We do not have any sexy female scientists, unfortunately. Cool aliens. I mean, I guess they're aliens. They kind of say they're aliens in this, so I'd say they're pretty cool. I mean, I love the Minotaur ones. I've always liked those. And the screaming skulls are awesome. All the ones from the games are there. The pinkies, all of them. So if you love the monsters from Doom, you'll love these aliens. They're pretty cool. They don't have any like backstory, but they're still cool. There's no alien-human romance, thankfully. There's no generation ship. Space soldiers, yeah, I guess they're space soldiers. They are on another planet, so they're space soldiers, sure. AI, this was not even a consideration in this book, so no. New worlds, Phobos counts, I guess. Sure, yeah, and they also go to like a portal, which sends them to like the Doom world, I think. I wasn't really sure what was going on there, and I couldn't remember from the game what actually happened, so I was like, yeah, okay. Cyberpunk, no. Sexism, no, definitely not, actually. This book does exist in a world where it's an aberration for a woman to be in a military unit, but there are women, and they are shown to be more than competent at their jobs. In fact, Arlene's introduction is where she has to prove she's like a great shot and deserves to be in the group. And Fly even points out that none of the men had to undergo this kind of initiation. And he points this out as kind of like a critique. So I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. It's kind of pointing out how this is wrong. And I was like, all right. Arlene is kind of like not one of those other girl types, but I'm going to give it a pass because I think he was just kind of explaining that because she's a military woman in a unit that doesn't have a lot of them, I guess that kind of makes sense for Fly. So I was like, all right. It's not like he was trying to say that she was the only cool woman ever. It's just that maybe she's different from all the women he's grown up with. I don't know. I'm going to give it a pass because one of the great things about Arlene is that she's a love interest, but she's not conventionally attractive. She's ripped as hell, and I think that was great. There's also a line where he wrestles with this societally created sexism, which I thought was interesting. Oh, wrong book. So they're arguing about who has to go and be a what's the word? A decoy or something for one of the Minotaur monsters. So I glared at Arlene. I wanted to protect her, get her out of there. I was a man. She was my bull. I was a Marine. And so was Arlene. I understood what she meant about the wall. Someone had to man it. Who else? So he's kind of like, oh, yeah, she's a Marine too. She's also a woman, but that doesn't matter. And I was like, oh, okay. This book is like trying to like argue something. And I'm like, this is interesting. Anyway, oh yeah, there's one really cute part that has nothing to do with sexism. It's just, I thought it was really cute. She'd been my buddy, my pal. We'd been careful not to confuse the issue by trying to be lovers. But this was the right moment to take her in my arms, bring our faces close together and whisper, it's you and me. We'll go to the end together. We'll make them pay for everything. Outstanding, she said breathily. I was like, aw, a love story. Anyway. Forerunner technology. Yes, the gates that spawn the creatures are leftovers from an alien species. That was pretty cool. LGBTQ plus, no. Portals, yep, they go through portals all the time. It's just going through portals. Microfiche, no. The MC is a bit of a dick. No, he's great. I liked him. Racial equality. When it comes to the main characters, no. But there are references to other soldiers of color in their troop and etc. So I thought that was a good attempt. But yeah, the main 2 people and then this other person, they're all white. So I guess not really. Future weapons, of course. They have the BFG at one point. So the most futuristic you can get, I guess. Post-apocalyptic, no. Assassins, no. Galactic War, not yet, anyway. Tech today, nothing really. And then the Bechtel test, no. But overall, I thought it was fun. I mean, it was a great book to read while my kids were playing at the library, and I wanted to read something and kind of get through another book for the Trick or Treat-a-thon. So yeah, there we go. And I've been meaning to read these things for years because, I mean, the covers are great. And as I said, I really like the game. So yeah, I am definitely going to read Hell on Earth later, but not probably maybe in like the spring. I don't know. So thanks for watching, and yeah, again, let me know in the comments if you've read these books or if you've played games or if you just want to say happy Halloween.